Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to solve day 9 problem of this month on LeetCode. Before starting, if you guys haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please go ahead and subscribe it. Now without any delay, let's get started with today's problem. Problem number 2169. Count operations to obtain 0, right? So let's read the problem statement. You are given two non-negative integers num1 and num2. In one operation, if num1 is greater than equal to num2, you must subtract num2 from num1, otherwise subtract num1 from num2, right? For example, if you see num1 is equal to 5, num2 is equal to 4, num1 is greater than num2, right? So that simply means you have to subtract num2 from this num1, right? So num1's new value is going to be 5 minus 4 is 1, right? So subtract num2 from num1, thus obtaining num1 is equal to 1 and num2 is equal to 4, right? However, if num1 is equal to 4 and num2 is equal to 5, so this is big, right? So if this is big, then 5 minus 4 1, right? Then after one operation, num1 is equal to 4 and num2 is equal to 1. That's it. We have to return the number of operations required to make either num1 is equal to 0 or num2 is equal to 0, right? So this is what we need to do. Very easy problem, right? Even if you do whatever asked in this problem statement line by line in the code, you will be able to solve it, right? So here if you see example number 1, right? Just run one while loop while your num1 is not equal to 0 and then num2 is not equal to 0, right? So at least one should be 0, right? So that is why I'm going to use AND operation here, right? And I will stop that particular AND operation in the while loop when any one becomes 0, right? And then inside this while loop I will check which number is greater, right? If any number is greater, right, then I will just subtract the other number from that, right? So let's write the code, right? Nothing complex here, right? Here simple, do one thing. See here, while num1 is not equal to 0 and num2 is not equal to 0, right? So inside this, what you need to do, just check which number is greater, right? Let's say if your num1 is greater than equal to num2, right? So if num1 is greater than equal to num2, so in that case, let's say num1 is equal to num1 minus num2, right? This is what we need to do, right? Else opposite of this, right? Num2 minus num1, right? This is what we need to do, right? And we have to count the number of operations, right? So here I'm going to create one variable int count is equal to 0, and here inside this I will just simply do count plus plus every time. That's it. And here I'm going to return count. That's it. Okay, so now let's run it. So see, all the test cases has been accepted, right? Now let's submit it. So see, our solution is happy, right? And the time complexity here, if you see, it is nothing but the minimum of num1 and num2, right? Okay, done, right? You can further improve this solution, right? So here, if you, let's say num1, let's say it is 5 and num2 is equal to 15, right? So let's see how we can further improve this solution. So here in normal way, whatever I've told you, right, as of now. So first what you are doing, so here this 15 is bigger, so 15 minus 5, so you are going to get 10, right? This is what you are doing. Then again you are checking among them which one is bigger, 10 or 5. So 10 is bigger, so then we have to write here 5. Then among them which one is bigger, uh, both are same, right? So you can make changes in any one. So let's say you make changes here, 5 minus 5, it is going to become 0 and it is 5. So now anyone becomes 0, you are stopping it, right? And you are just counting the number of steps, right? The count, right? 3. That's it. Okay, shortcut is very simple. Num1 is equal to 5, num2 is equal to 15, right? So here in this 15, if you see, 15 is like this, right? Let's say this is 5, right? So here we have this 5 and here we have 3 5s, right? 3 5s, right? So I can simply do now 15, how many times 5 is fitting in this 15? So 15 divided by 5, I will get 3, 3 is as my output. That's it. Clear? Okay, let's say it's not simple, it's not that simple. Okay, there's few more things that we need to take care. Let's say num1 is equal to 5 only, and num2 is equal to 17. Now what? So here again, this is 5, let's say, and here we have 5 5 5, and here let's say this is nothing but 2. Okay, some symbol like this. Okay, so 3, right? Okay. So first, in number of steps, right, we are just counting a number of steps. Which number is greater? This na. So just add this, uh, that is nothing but 3. Add it 3. But still, if you see among them, which one is uh which one is bigger right now? Okay, this is the count, and now this num2 is bigger, right? So what you need to do? 17 modulus with 5. Okay, so 17 modulus with 5 is nothing but 2, right? Just give this as your new num2. Okay, new num2. So that is right. Now if I do the modulus, I will get what? I will get a remainder 5 3 15, and I will get remainder. Okay, so 2 is pending, right? So this is your num2, right? Now here num1 is equal to 5 and num2 is equal to 2, right? Now we have to solve this, right? So again, let's say this is 2, right? This is 2. Okay, and now here if you see 1 2, and still there is something like this here, right? So 2 2 and 1. Okay, so now again uh in the count, previous number of steps was, what was the previous number of steps? 3, right? Now what, how many number of steps will be there? 3 plus again 5 divided by 2. So 3 plus 5 divided by 2 is nothing but 2 only, right? So we are going to get 5 is the new count value. Okay, right? Now remaining among them, num1 and num2, which one is greater? Num1 is greater, right? Num1 is greater, so num1 is equal to, the previous value of num1 is 5 modulus with the 2, so now new value of num1 is 1. Okay, done. Now here again if you see, num1 is equal to 1 and num2 value is equal to, 2, right? This is what we have. Now num1 num2 is equal to 2, right? Let's say num1 is like this. Okay, this. All right, something like this. Num2 is, then it will be like this, and it will be like this. Okay, okay, so now again in count, previous value of count is 5. Now again, which one is bigger? This na. So 2 divided 1, so we are going to get 2 only, right? We are going to get 2 only. So 5 plus 2 is nothing but 7. Okay, 7 is the new count. And now among them, which one is bigger? Num2 and num1. Num2 is bigger, right? So num2 I have to update. Num2 is equal to num2 modulus with 1, right? So I will get 0 now this time. Okay, now after that, if you see your one number becomes 0, so in the end you have to just return the count, which is 7, right? So this was the example that I'm taking, right? Okay, so 17 and 5. Okay, so let me show you here one more thing. Okay, so here test case. Here let's take it 5 and let's take it 17. All right, let's run it. So we are getting 7 only, right? We are getting 7 only, right? But here now this this is shortcut, right? This is shortcut, right? If I just do the divide, I can directly get the one count. Okay, 3 in one way. But here if you see, I am doing count incrementally, 1 2 3. But here see, I did get 3 in one go, right? So that is why this is a little bit fast, right? So again here, what you need to do, count you are taking, right? So here instead of this, if num1 is greater than this, so you can simply say count is equal to previous count plus num1 divided by num2, right? That's it. And here same thing, here in the else part what you are going to do, num2 and divided by num1. That's it. Clear? Right, like this. Now here again you have to check which number is greater, right? If num1 is greater than equal to num2, right, then in that case what you need to do, you have to update your num1 as num1 modulus with num2, right? Clear? This is what you need to do. Okay, done. And in the else part you have to update what? You have to update your num2, right? So num2 is equal to num2 modulus with num1, right? And in the end you have to return count, right? So it is like a Euclidean algorithm, right, which was used for GCD, but here we are just using it for addition, right? Subtraction and addition, right? So that's it. Okay, so now let's run it. So all the test cases have been accepted, right? So previously we were here, right, with the previous submission. Now let's submit this part. Let's see. So see, now we are here, right? So this is fast, right? So I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem. And if you guys still have any doubts, then please feel free to ask in comment section. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Meet you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.